Yukayú Guáyiga event live stream. My name is Carlos on behalf of Taino, the Taino American Indigenous National Organization. I want to personally thank you for joining us for this historic evening. We are truly excited here and hope you are just as excited to be part of this important moment of education, awareness, cultural preservation, and truth. Before we begin, we'll go over a few house rules to ensure a respectful experience for everyone attending virtually. Our honored guests and all special speakers participating in this evening, our priority is to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to hear and receive the information being shared. To help make this possible, all microphones will remain muted throughout the event until the final 5 minutes, where we may allow time for one or two questions from participants. Throughout the live stream, you are welcome to post email address. Carlos and co-host Wendy will capture and record your questions, and if your question is not addressed live, a response will be provided with the email within 24 hours. We also ask that everyone maintain a respectful and professional environment throughout the event. There will be zero tolerance for disrespectful comments, personal attacks, hateful remarks, or disruptive behavior towards any speaker, guest, or participant. Anyone engaging in such activity will be removed from the live. Most importantly, we hope you learned something meaningful, enjoy this evening's program, and leave with a deeper understanding of the continued existence, resilience, and history of the indigenous Arawak Taíno people. And if you feel called to support these ongoing efforts and become part of this journey, we encourage you to visit our website at www.tainonatives.org and complete the available form to stay connected and involved. Thank you again for being here and enjoy the event.
Where are we sitting here? Carlos, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, sugar. Listen, I can't do any messaging.
Um,
Oh,
I,
wait. Does
I
everybody right? Listen to me. Listen to me. Are
yeah, I'm
we live
listening.
listening? Never mind. I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, but I'm doing the live.
I know, so they could hear what I'm ready to say.
All right, no problem.
All right, bye.
What is that? That's what it is. Oh, yeah. So instead of me having to like this, then I get ready. I appreciate it. I'm always looking up. Be better than yesterday. Your main thing. Yeah. So I got my mic. So this is. Well, depending on what you plan on doing. So. Gotcha. But if you go to position here, you're going to say what you're laughing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like my brother. This is good info. I will definitely. Yeah, I need to get something else. And it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Then you just what's hard. Once you start. You gonna be a little kid. I I'm not even using stuff. Wow. You're right. It is. Yeah, it is. We got homework to do. Yeah. I remember. Video. Get yourself hooked. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna get hooked. I gotta get rid of the iPhone. Yeah. Oh, you know they can shoot. Yeah, it's just battery. That's what it is. This, the videos you shoot. Oh yeah. That is the battery. But I need something more professional now that I'm retired, more stable. That's why.
Carlos, I forgot the citations. I don't have your phone. Okay, got it. And we're back. One more. That's a nice one. I like that one. I think so. I don't know why we're both.
Where's the burner?
Burner?
There you go, bro. I was trying to get you hooked. I got it. I got it. All right, that is the thing. It's okay. That is not true. All right. Y'all taking pictures up there? Y'all get the pictures? I said, you want to get pictures up? How you doing? Julie. All right, cool, man. And they'll be proud to be busy. And I'm like, you too, man. If it's okay. Real quick. Oh, where you want? Which one? But if I know it's good again.
On the side of the stage already. All right. Came out good. Look at that. All right. Oh my God! I got to get my email. Oh my God! I look like I should be in the movies or something. I just moved. Everybody say hi. How's everything?
Special shout out to the event sponsor, the historical Odd Fellows Lodge in Sandy Spring, Maryland.
All right, Wendy, we got you.
You can hear me. You can hear me.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Looking good.
All right. Taino.
In the house.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
He's the DJ, fellow.
No problem. Here we go. I got ya.
What's the next?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Look.
Yes, sir. He's gonna get a peace sign for the camera. That's right. Taino. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
We found a private one.
Yes. Yeah.
And I am with the Caribbean American Advisory Group and the one that takes me. Oh, so I gave you your no, but you know what? You're not coming. No, I'm not. I'm coming. Oh, so you just want one? Yeah. No. This is the yeah. This is the proclamation. The American Advisory Group. Doing the proclamation, and I have like 30 tables, but it's going down. So you bring your own, it's like this. Okay.
But yeah, no, but yeah, no, that's fine. I stuck. And I went
Oh, no, that's just an extra one. That's
Where's the camera located at?
the camera for
We got people virtually saying we
yeah, it's right here. Say hi again.
you doing welcome. Okay. You gotta be
Yes, sir.
cool. Now I'm like, what?
Hey, Liz.
Wendy
Liz, how
says
are
hi.
you, Liz?
Say how are you? Wendy Bermudez, the treasurer.
Oh, hello, Wendy. How are you? Hey, we're having a good time. Bless you. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Good,
Let me,
nervous. You're supposed to be here.
yeah, let me put the camera. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Stupendous. Yeah. Wendy, you want to speak to her directly?
Oh, how you doing?
I know you can't see me.
Well, next time you're going to.
I know. Thank you so much.
We miss you though.
You should tell.
All right.
Okay.
We're back. All right, we're back. Let's see.
We don't want things hanging around. See the way I did that? Hanging around. Okay, I'm gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. All right. Okay. And this una, and give me a moment, and we'll take a quick large one and back it up. Un momento, una, dos, y tres. So what we doing today here? What we got? What we got going on? Yeah. Are we happy? Estamos alegres. Entonces, bueno, gracias.
swimming like that.
Hey, listen, deuces. Yes, hello. Nice to see you. Right.
Came in from.
South Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try.
Ain't too far, yeah. I'm like 10 minutes away.
That's good.
Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. But I was in a couple. So Sandy Spring.
So interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. First time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool doing a live virtual event.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you go, yeah, if you go on YouTube, all that good stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Special shout out to our current partners, CKC for urban farming, Grand Slams Apparel. Thank you for being our partners.
Warm her body up. She's outside. She'll be right back in.
Pretty cool, right?
I know, I'm gonna get those. Those are so fun. I gotta find out.
Well, even these.
Stew pie. Fine, right?
It's funny because I just got my sister ice cream from one of the wears.
Okay.
She's like 40 something. She's like, I'm gonna wear them.
Favor.
I'm just doing the streaming. I'm trying to see.
I'm Hannah. I run Taino farm in downtown. So we're gonna do something with first Taino powwow. After this, yeah. That was another next step. Yeah. And oh, we brought plans for everyone to take home. Yeah. Go right ahead. You can become a dinner. Yeah.
No, actually, go to the third part, the donations up top.
Yeah, I did that. We're not gonna. This is different, but okay.
So right now, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna-
Oh, God.
But yeah, whenever I play this
Calabasas.
takes over. Oh, they move our, but everything always goes out there.
And then the beans are black bean or what? They're like a brown bean too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, called,
Right here. Just run a little behind. Got it.
oh, yeah. And that was the like odd night for us because of the music that came out. But it was still really fun. Oh, love it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're behind the screen. Oh, you saw it. I need a lighter.
I recognize it.
Going like it's like herding cats, right? And you know,
What was I saying? Golden? How was that? Pleasure to meet you. National. Where is it? I got this recording. Don't we work together? Yeah, so. Here. It was like crazy. But once you get outside, you all get mentors. It's working chaos. Cool. I can go for a little bit. I throw over his wall. Oh my.
Smells so good, right?
I got it.
It smells so good.
Yeah, good.
Where's the boozy? Say, where's the boozy? Show the people some of this. I like the way she did it. Yeah. Spread, yeah. How do you do?
Build up your
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Come stand up. Hi, that's Natalie. How are you?
So good over here.
I know, right? You just wanna plant some. She got a garden?
Huh?
Does she have a
Yeah,
garden?
she has one.
That's cool. Oh.
Hazel and all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
she pretty like one.
Yeah.
Burger. No, 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 they sound crazy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Contact, and I proudly serve as the Executive Secretary of the Taino American Indigenous National Organization. On behalf of our entire organization, it is my honor to welcome you to Ariéto Yukayú Guáyiga, an evening of strength, spirit, and survival. Tonight is more than a celebration. It is a powerful reminder that the Arawak Taíno people, their descendants, culture, and contributions continue to live on despite centuries of erasure and misunderstanding. This evening reflects our mission to educate, preserve, empower, and ensure that future generations inherit truth, pride, and cultural awareness. We are deeply grateful to every elected official, community leader, supporter, sponsor, volunteer, and guest joining us tonight. Your presence and support help advance educational outreach, cultural preservation, youth empowerment, and the continued revitalization of Indigenous Caribbean history. Most importantly, tonight stands as a living declaration of our message to the world. We are still here. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the visionary founder and executive director of the Taino Indigenous National Organization, a passionate advocate, community leader, and voice for Indigenous truth, and recognition. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Demisio.
Thank you. Before I begin, I want to do something together, something that's intentional. I will say a phrase. I invite you guys to repeat after me. T.A.I.N.O. Taino T. Naboria Daka. Yukayú Guáyiga Toa. What you just said is very powerful. It most likely translates, welcome, we are Taino. Give thanks and may the spirit and strength be with us tonight. And most importantly, what we must affirm is that we're all still here. And it's important that I speak my ancestral language. I remember growing up from childhood, and I even still to this day hear people say, "Oh, you're Spanish." Whenever they heard me speak or others speaking Spanish, too often because of the mindset of shaped by colonization and historical misunderstanding, people hear the Spanish language and automatically assume that a person speaking Spanish is ethnically Spanish. But speaking Spanish does not make someone Spanish. Hopefully tonight we can all play a part in correcting that deeply rooted misconception. Unfortunately, this misunderstanding is not only repeated by those outside the Hispanic community, there are also millions of Hispanics who, whether through denial, lack of historical knowledge, or generations of inherited narratives, never take the time to question or correct this misunderstanding. The assumption is part of a long history of erasure, one that tied to silence and replaces truth. What I just shared with you comes from an ancestral Arawak language, the language of my ancestors, the language they tried to erase, but we still live because we're still alive. Distinguished guests, partners, family, friends, and all those joining us virtually, welcome, virtually. See you. Tonight is not just an event, it's gathering for purpose, a moment of truth, and a living reflection of something far greater than any one of us. Before anything else, I want to begin with gratitude to Althea Mackenzie. Thank you for believing in what we're building strongly enough to make it last minute connection that brought us here tonight. Because of you, we stand in this historical place. Mr. Albert Guyan and the Historical Oddfellows Lodge, our sincere appreciation for serving as a sponsor of this event and willingness to open these doors is just not an act of generosity, it's investment in truth and education and legacy. And the backbone of our organization, our board, Hassan Bey, Director of Youth Initiatives, Wendy Bermudez, our Treasurer, Elizabeth Contes, Secretary, who's here tonight and seeing, and our newest members, Talina Maxwell, Director of Cultural Events and Community Engagement, and Selena Rodriguez, an Executive Student Intern. Each of you represents commitment, spice, and belief in a mission that demands courage and consistency. So I thank you. Each of you now I want to take you back a moment in time. I was 10 years old, and I was sitting in an elementary school classroom, and my grandmother and my parents used to share stories about that were passed down to them from our ancestors, our Arawak Taíno's ancestors. And during Native American History Month, the teacher asked the question, "Who here is Native American?" And like a proud 10-year-old kid, I rose my hand up, excited, very confident. I was sure who I was, and I said, "I am." She said, "What tribe?" And I said, Arawak Taíno. And her response was that those people don't exist, they're all dead. I said that to a 10-year-old kid. So it affected my life. You know, the one that probably knows me the most is my wife here tonight. She could probably tell you stories that she's probably heard from my family members. I was not a good kid growing up because of it. You know, I had a lot of problems trying to understand society, and I realized as I got older because they didn't see me. If you don't see me, if you don't care about me, then why should you educate me? Why should you give me books? You know, so but I kept pressing on because I believe what my parents told me, what my grandmother told me, and it stayed with me. And it did just confuse me. It challenged my identity. My journey didn't start in the classroom of history. It continued through real life. I began my professional career as a correctional officer in the death row in Virginia. I then served as a police officer in the United States Department of Treasury. I'm part of their SORT team. And then later I became a U.S. Special Agent focused on anti-terrorism in the Department of Homeland Security, where I retired. So all of my life I've been serving the community in some fashion. But it was my role as a special emphasis program manager, thanks to my wife, who has been long proponent of EEO, and just seeing the way she moved in the world kind of pushed me in that direction. So I fell into the EEO profession, and I fell in love with the special emphasis programming, and that's where the work with equity, inclusion, accessibility, it gave me the clarity and the courage to act. And because that became a meaning and powerful message to me. Misinformation is not harmless. Erasure is not accidental, and silence is not acceptable. The realization led to creation of Taino American Indigenous. We exist for one reason: to restore truth, to reclaim identity, and to educate our students, our communities, and our institutions on living, breathing presence of Indigenous people. We are not here to rewrite history. We're here to correct it. Tonight, Ariéto Yukayú Guáyiga is an evening of strength, spirit, and survival, direct reflection of our mission. We want you to learn, we want you to feel, and we want you to walk away with something that challenges perspective and deepens understanding. But we also want you to recognize something equally important. This work requires support. It requires resources, it requires commitment beyond words, and it requires people like you who are willing to stand with us. We're beyond excited about tonight's event, speakers, and participants who understand this event significant enough to want to be here and speak and support us. Tonight, we're working towards trying to raise some funds, and between those of you here in the room and those who join us, this is the only reachable goal. This is not only a reachable goal, but it's a necessary one. Because every dollar raised tonight directly fuels the ability to bring truth, knowledge, and education into schools, communities, and into spaces where our history and our story are often been ignored. This is not just fundraising, it's restoration, it's representation, and it's responsibility. So I ask you to be present, to be engaged, and when the moment comes, be supportive. Because of what we're building here matters, and I'll leave you with this. Every action we take is a reminder of the world, a reminder to the world that Indigenous presence is not history, it's reality. Thank you. We have a little change in our agenda. So this, we're going to move with Natalie.
Oh, you introduce myself. Thank you, Benicio, for those powerful opening remarks and for your continued leadership in ensuring that this history, this culture, and this movement continue to grow and thrive. As we begin tonight's journey together, it is important that we hear from leaders and understand the importance of equity representation, cultural recognition, and empowerment. It is my honor to welcome someone who has consistently demonstrated. I'm sorry. As we introduce to you Natalie Gonzalez. Do I need a microphone? Do I really need to use it? I don't use it. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Gonzalez. I'm the Montgomery County Council President. It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you. There's something that you don't know. None of you know. So I was born in Venezuela, in Caracas. And in my family, we grew up embracing our heritage. And when I say our heritage, I don't just mean, oh, we're Venezuela. Oh, no, honey. We have Africa inside. We have our indigenous communities inside. We have, because my mom is half Lebanese, a lot of people don't know that. We have Arabs inside, and so on. And that's how we grew up. Then I had the great pleasure of marrying a Puerto Rican. Well, honestly, the sad thing about today is that I wish my husband were here with me and our children. He's such a proud Taino. He's a proud, you have no idea. especially when Glenn from my team told me about this. I told him, yes, of course I'm gonna do this right away. That's like our heritage. And we are proud of it. And it's important for my husband and I to show our children that this is our heritage. Even though my kids were born here, Holy Cross Hospital in Forest Glen, which is also my district. Yes, they're American. Besides being American, they are Taino, they are Lebanese, they are Latinos. Latinos are huge and beautiful melting pot, and we need to embrace the culture. So I want to thank you for all that work that you're doing. I want to know who's your wife, because you kept mentioning her. Who's the wife? You're the one. What's her name? Because I don't want to call you your wife. Driva. Driva, nice to meet you. So with that, I have the great honor of giving you a explanation. If you can come closer. I'm gonna read it. So it says, the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland proclamation. Whereas the Arawak Taíno people are among the original indigenous peoples of the Caribbean, whose history, cultural traditions, and innovations have shaped the broader cultural landscape of the Americas. That means the entire Western Hemisphere, not just US. And whereas Arawak Taíno descendants continue to preserve, share, and revitalize their cultural identity, contributing to deeper public understanding of Caribbean and indigenous heritage. And whereas more than 16,700 Caribbean descendants, residents, enrich Montgomery County, including my family, and because Taino heritage has left a lasting cultural imprint throughout the Caribbean, many members of the local Caribbean community maintain ancestral, historical, or cultural connections to the Arawak Taino peoples of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad, and Bahamas, and Barbados. And whereas the Arawak Taino people have influenced language, agriculture, environmental practices, and cultural traditions that remain evident in modern life, including within the diverse communities of Montgomery County. And whereas promoting awareness of Arawak Taino history supports broader education, encourages respectful engagement with indigenous heritage, and helps recognize the depth and diversity of Caribbean cultural identities. And whereas, I'm almost done. Recognize, she's so good. Recognizing the ongoing community efforts led by the Taino American Indigenous National Organization to promote awareness, education, and cultural reflection during the fourth Saturday of April honors Arawak Taino heritage, resilience, and endurance, and enduring contributions to the Montgomery County and the Americas. And whereas the Montgomery County values the many cultures and histories that strengthen our community and contribute to a more understanding of regions, past, and present. Now, therefore, be resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognizes and honors the Arawak Taino people and their living descendants, and commends their enduring contributions to our shared history and community. And be it further resolved that the Council expresses its appreciation to community members and organizations who preserve, share, and promote Arawak Taino history and culture, and encourages continued cultural awareness, education, and respectful engagement with Indigenous and Caribbean heritage throughout Montgomery County, presented on the 28th day of May in the year of 2026 by Council President Natalie Fanny Gonzalez. There it is.
Thank you so much.
I have two other things. I will take this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you for that powerful recognition, Mrs. Bell. And for our next speaker, glad to introduce Representative from Will Jawango's office, Taino.
Good evening. I am Rena Atkinson, as you mentioned, and I bring greetings from Councilmember Will Tawando, who is the county council at large, who covers all of Montgomery County. He wasn't able to make it tonight. However, he did leave a video message that he wanted to share with you.
Anybody?
You gotta switch the source of the TV to HDMI. If you have, or menu, go to menu, switch it to HDMI.
Got it. To the left.
The arrow on the left. The arrow there. I don't know which source was on. Which.
Restoring data racial share where we are on state recognition that all of our Taino people. Earlier this year, I met with Speaker of the House of W to help advance. I want to be clear that where I stand, where we stand, it's not a wish, it's not something that we're just moving towards. It's going to happen. These deals work in because of this sustained commitment across the country and really the world who has shown up and said that this community is real, heritage is alive, Maryland. The significance of this recognition cannot be overstated. The Taino were the first indigenous people to encounter Europeans in this hemisphere. Civilization, language, governance, art, and spiritual traditions that shaped the entire Caribbean. For centuries, history books declared you as a state. Past tense. It was not an oversight. History has never been a neutral exercise. It was shaped by the people who hold the pen. For far too long, the story of your people was not merely overlooked, it was systematically. But history doesn't simply end because it's ignored. An identity does not disappear, it's denied. Little people on this continent understand the violence, imperialism, colonialism, conflict, and no one has had more powerfully demonstrated that culture cannot be erased. You're here tonight, virtually and in person. Your language is being revitalized. Your heritage is yours. You're not asking for permission. You're saying we've been here, we're still here, and we need to be ready. That's a partnership. That's action. The son of a Nigerian. Powerful institutions decide your history. It's something that the Black community understands deep in our bones, and it's something that the Taino community knows deep in their bones as well. Our stories are not the same, but we share the knowledge of what it costs to carry a culture forward in the world. Montgomery County is home to nearly 70,000 residents of Puerto Rican and Virgin Islands, tens of thousands of more. Republic, Jamaica, Hawaii, Haiti, and Bahamas. All of those communities carry, ancestry in it. So this is not some distant history. This is our community in a different. In a community that does not tell the truth about the past, cannot fully provide. So all the young people here tonight, people of every age, who are not legacy is not defined by taken, but what has survived. This event represents. Thank you. Let's keep building. I look forward to continuing to keep this fight for respect.
As we begin tonight's journey together, it is important that we hear from leaders who understand the importance, as we just did from Rwanda. What we've seen tonight is clear. The history is real, the need is urgent, and the work is already happening. But every while, moments like this offer something more, not just recognition in spirit, but recognition in action. It is my honor to welcome someone the importance of recognition and community partnerships. But before we continue, we invite you to a journey deeper into self through visual voices and reflections that help bring the legacy of the Arawak Taíno people to life. Please direct your attention to the stage as we present a series of, my apologies. Through movement and rhythm, the ancestral energy, this next presentation reminds us that culture is not something confined. It is a lot. Breathing and still with us today.
Confederation of Taino people, Yukayú Guáyiga. Thank you all of you for having me here. Benicio, this is amazing. I was over there trying to not cry. This is such a powerful, powerful event, and I'm so happy to be here. Kawaii-daka, kawaii-daka, kawaii-daka. I'm so happy to be here. I've been doing this. I can't even remember for how long. I've always known I was Taino since a child. My mother always wore her hair in her braids. If you see her now as an elder, she can't look any more Taino. It's crazy. And my grandmother, and they've always told me who I was, who we were as a people, but never wanted me to tell anybody else. That's how we grew up. Oh, don't say nothing. You know, we're supposed to be on the hush. So, okay, so that's how I grew up. So my whole life, I was trying to find us. And that was really, really hard to find us because you didn't know where to look. As far as I was concerned, or anybody else was concerned, we were Puerto Rican. That's it, Puerto Rico. But it's deeper than that. Puerto Rico's not Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's Borinquen. Period. It's Borinquen. So I don't identify as Puerto Rican. I identify as Boricua, una jíbara, Taino. That's me. That's how I am. That's who I am. That's what my children are. And with that, I'm going to do a dance. I created this dance. It's called the owl dance. The owl is our relative from the West. Very, very powerful. It's also the keep of our spirit world. It's like, you know, when you're passed on, it's the gatekeeper, so that protector. So I'm going to do that dance, and I'm also going to show you a few other things. Let me get my stuff together. Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, Delicio. I usually have a bigger space. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Oh, boy. Thank you, Home. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting old. I'm already out of breath. Jeez, man. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit about what we as Taino say that we forever one thinks it's okay, because when I introduce myself in Taino, in our Arawak language, which is not any other colonized language, English, Spanish. You guys speak Taino all the time. Like hammock. The hammock that you guys, in the summertime, y'all in the summer and y'all just chilling in the hammock, that's hamaca. That's not a Spanish word. And the hamaca has been created by our people. So one of the first things that was used in NASA in space. How do you think they sleep in there? Because of hammocks. So they took our indigenous crafts and used it, futuristically. Everybody know what this is? It's a conch shell. But you know what it is for us? Ourselves. You already heard it. This cell phone is how we communicated with each other from village to village, the chiefdoms all around the area, where our people were fishermen. We're on an island. So when our people were out in canoa, the canoes, another Taino word, hold up to 150 men at one single time. They would, the people that are on the mountain and the ones that are in the ocean, they would blow their horn in case there was a storm brewing, and they could alert them to come in because they can see that far out. Wives were probably like, that. It's time back over, let's go. Now, what's this? Buddy? Una macana. This is a macana. Now, the macana has a purpose, many purposes. One of it was spear. You can go fishing, men fish, grab spear the fish. The other one was also parte de la canoa, for rowing, the oar. And again, I think the wives also. Now, I know everybody knows what this is. What is it? Maraca. Now, the interesting part about the maraca is, why is it called maraca? Anybody? No? Okay. La maraca, the reason why they named the maraca is not because of the actual maraca, the seed inside is called maraca seed. So that's why they named the maraca. This actual, it's not even a coconut. A lot of people think about, they look at this and they think it was made out of coconut. You can make them out of that, but this is not that. This is a higuera from higuera plant. They dry them out to fruit. Dry them out, and then it becomes hollow. You add the maraca in it, that's your maraca. Different sounds that you make from the maraca depending on how you do it. Depends also who you're calling. What ancestor are you calling? Whichever way you're stringing, whichever way you're playing it is who you call. Now, we have drums. This is also thanks to our African ancestors, who I love so much. This is our log drum. It's a mayowacan. And this log drum, hollow, as you can see, inside. Usually, the mayowacan is carved in an H sort of formation in the front, in different, depending on where part is thicker than the other, you'll get a sound. And normally, the way that it sounds, you can always get that little sound like the coqui. So don't ask me to do it because I'm terrible. I can't. This is what my son is for. So you could actually do it. You see, I'm terrible. Okay. Maybe a little bit. Close enough. Yeah. So they do it that way because of the coqui. I had to steal that from my chief because he was so silly and I love him for it. So over 500 years ago, this is what we did. We always were together. Our people were family oriented. We had our own governance. We didn't need that colonization that everybody, the Europeans say we needed. We're not those savages that were written in the books. We had everything we could possibly need and thriving. It wasn't like we were dying and we needed it. We didn't need it. We had everything that Creator could possibly provide. Our people would, when they used food, when they would gather food, the sea was plenty of fish and turtles. They also thrived on turtle eggs. And they only took what was needed. They never took more than what was needed. Other than that, that was just a little bit of history, and I want to thank you all for having me up here. I live from Boston, Massachusetts, drove all the way up here, my back hurt, okay, my butt was asleep, but I'm here, and I am very, very proud, and thank you. Closing blessing. When this is over, I can actually do a prayer chant at the end.
Thank you so much for that powerful cultural presentation. What we just experienced is more than tradition. It is living history. To ground us in that history through the lens of preservation, documentation, and truth, we are honored to welcome a leader whose work ensures that stories like ours are not lost, but protected and made accessible for generations to come. Please join me in welcoming the Assistant State Archivist of Maryland, Corey Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to forego the mic, so hopefully you all can hear me. It is truly an honor, one, to be invited by Denisio, so I appreciate that, to be here with you tonight among advocates, leaders, community members. By being here, you are acknowledging that history is just not something that we study. So my name is Corey Lewis. I serve as one of the 2 Assistant State Archivists for the state of Maryland. Every day, my work, my colleagues' work, is centered on a simple but profound responsibility, which is to preserve the documented memory of our state and to ensure that these records remain accessible to all of our people. The work of the archives is simply the main repository for all government records of permanent value. We are also tasked with preserving records from individuals, organizations, document the history and culture of Maryland. Our holdings go back to 1634, which is the founding of our colony. Our mission is not just preservation, though, it is broad access. For cataloging, digitization, indexing, public outreach, and in-person visits, we work to make sure that our records are accessible to genealogists, researchers, students, families, and communities, and people such as yourself. So why does community history matter? I truly believe that collectively, there's all of our responsibility to push back against the idea that only the history of prominent individuals is important. All Marylanders, everyone, regardless of your background, ethnicity, have a place in this nation's historical record, and most important, Maryland. Community archives help us understand the full breadth of our past, offering insights that the government records alone cannot simply provide. They reveal the lived experiences, struggles, and triumphs of all of our citizens, again, whether you're Marylanders or community archiving, and I think that people have to really understand this. By taking ownership of your archives and generation creating these documented processes, it just empowers all people to be creators of their own content and be the authors of their own narrative, which is truly important. If you are not going to tell your own story, then you're leaving a gap for somebody else to tell. So for generations, entire communities, especially indigenous communities, their histories have often been misrepresented, fragmented, or omitted entirely. And not because these histories did not exist, but it's because they were not preserved with the same intention as other peoples and ethnic groups. So to address this, the Maryland State Archives launched MAIS, which is a dedicated web resource and research tool designed as a path for researchers to original documents and artifacts regarding peoples of the Chesapeake Bay region. Amazing project done by our special collections. Whether you're looking for treaties, land surveys, tribal histories, MAIS is a great starting point. Again, this is very personal for the State Archives. Our team dedicated this site to shine a light on the significant history of colonization and conflict. It is our hope that American Indians of the 21st century and their allies will use this tool to help better educate all of us about the people who first inhabited this region. The power, and again, I'm going to continue to always talk about the power of community-led history. There is gaps in all of our historical records for all ethnic. And how do we close those gaps? And that is by organizations, people like Denisio, the Taino American Indigenous National Organization, events like this really matters because what you're doing is not just a cultural celebration. In some ways, it is a historical correction. So as I, as state archivist or assistant state archivist who works primarily with government institutions, I can tell you that I personally rely on communities. I rely on individuals. We, as an archive, rely on voices like yours. Without your collective input, we will continue to have these gaps and silences in our historical record. Some of those important histories exist in oral histories and traditions, cultural practices like we saw, family history, and community knowledge. This is why the work that you're doing, Denisio, and others, is so important because it is not our work we do, it is essential. A lot of people ask, what is the value and importance of oral histories? A lot of people don't feel like they have something to offer. I cannot think of anything more possibly important than the spoken word of our elders and the people who are willing to share their lived experience. Oral history gives voice to people who were never documented in our official systems, and it restores its humanity to narratives that are often reduced to statistics or ignored entirely. It becomes so to kind of sum up, why am I somebody from the State Archives here tonight? Because I truly believe that what you are building aligns directly with the mission of archival work, to preserve, to educate, to ensure that future generations understand the magnitude of what you're doing, and to ensure that the next generation takes on the responsibility of protecting and permanently sustaining the foundation you have created. And again, I cannot stress that enough. Bringing the youth along into this work, and work that you're doing today is preserved for the next 20 years, 100 years. Your house has to outlive us. And so, I believe in training for these true archival practices, but incorporating the next generation because they have to take this mantle up for us. Events like tonight are just not gathering. They are acts of preservation in real time. They are moments where culture is not just remembered but lived, where history is not just discussed but reclaimed. Again, I want you all to really think about the power that you have inside of you, leaving stories, documenting your history, no matter how important you think it is. There are young people that are going to see themselves in you and need that path and that guidance and know what they can become and know where people have come from. So history, again, does not preserve itself. It requires intention, it requires effort, it requires people who care enough to protect it. Every single one of you in this room are part of that effort. Whether you realize it or not, you will keep us remembering, protect our culture, support here tonight, ensures that the stories of not only Taino people and so many others are not just remembered, but recognized, respected.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for reminding us that history, when preserved with integrity, has the power to validate truth and restore what was once overlooked. I'd like to welcome Mr. Denisio LeBoy, who has an important message for us. Thank
want to apologize first because we started off late and we had to switch our agenda a little bit. And so we're just kind of moving along as best we can. But I was reminded that we do have, we're here for a purpose. We're here to lure you all and get you guys excited enough and understand the need to build funding to support our organizational efforts. So I just want to remind everybody that we do have QR scanners on the table so you can scan and donate. We also have raffle baskets. What's it for? What's it for a raffle ticket? What was it? Like $10 a ticket. So you can. We have some good gifts. We have Marriott has donated a hotel stay. And Mission Barbecue has donated some gift cards, some barbecue sauce, a couple other things. I don't know exactly what was on there. We've made some baskets that include some indigenous artifacts and some coquito. So we have things there. Feel free to look at them. We're asking for donations. If you give you can pick whatever one that you want. You want several of them. We're just asking $10 for donations. And do we have the tickets? All right, so this is going to get more confusing. You have the tickets?
No, but what you were gonna do is whoever scans, we're gonna raffle off the names that scanned. So the donation with QR reader, we'll gather the names and then we'll select names.
Okay, so yeah. That said, we're asking, we do have quite a lot of food and we're hoping that everyone can stay for the food because there's quite a lot of food. It's really good food. Having said that, I want to make something very clear if I get everybody's attention. As much and as proud as I am and excited about Arawak Taíno and our direct lineage connection from a Puerto Rican ancestral standpoint, I've got to be clear. We don't own the tribe, right? Tainos, known, historically proven to have tried to continue to thrive. Of course, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, right? Bahamas, a lot of the food you're eating here tonight is inspired from the Puerto Rican ancestral connection to the Tainos. But Jamaicans have and they have jerk chicken, right? That's all from Taino, right? So let's be cognizant of that. And as we grow and our organizational grows, my plan is to incorporate every element of Taino ancestry and history in everything we do, because we're stronger together. And that's going to lead us more and closer and bigger in the fight of our rightful tribal recognition. And with that said, I'm going to give it back to Liz, and we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And now it is my sincere honor to transition to a respected leader whose lifelong dedication to Native communities, cultural preservation, and public service has helped strengthen Indigenous representation throughout the state of Maryland. Serving as an administrative director of the Maryland Commission on Indian Affairs within the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, and as a proud member of both the Tuscarora, thank you, and Lumbee tribal communities, Mr. Keith Holston has spent decades advocating for Native voices, preserving history, and building meaningful bridges between government and Indigenous communities across our state. This evening, Mr. Colson joins us not only to share a few impactful words, but also to present an official citation on behalf of the Governor's Office, recognizing the significance of the work and mission of the Taino American Indigenous National Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me warmly welcoming Mrs. Keith Colson. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to stand by the podium. My job here is very simple, just to express what I know and what I feel. It can be simply done. First and foremost, thank you for the kind introduction and the words that were presented. I do represent the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives as the director for the ethnic commissions, as well as the administrative director for the Maryland Commission on Indian Affairs. If you know anything about state government, we wear many hats to do what we need to do, a lot with little. And so I say that as a compliment to all the great people who, of course, do work in state government. I also want to equally say to all of you who do work in the nonprofit areas and organizations throughout the state, but of course, the creation here tonight of the Taino organization, its board, its members, its supporters, its leadership, its founder, which I had the opportunity to meet 3 years ago during a cultural event during American Indian Heritage Month here in the state of Maryland. I was honored to be asked. I was, of course, following my responsibilities in my position as administrative director and representing tribal people here in the state. And here tonight, I had that same opportunity to represent tribal people right here in the state. Why do I say that? It's because when I think about the Taino people, that I know, that I've known, and of course, those who I've met along what we call that powwow trail, that red road, that Indian highway, is that I've had the opportunity to meet a variety of people who know who they are. And one of the things that I share with individuals is that if I know who I am, no one can tell me who I should be. Very simple, not complicated. And so for the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives and the 7 ethnic commissions that are there, that's exactly what we, again, strive to do. That's what we are doing. So with that, there are many areas of parts that we contribute, that we support, that we want to see happen. And then when you say Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, it's that last part, initiative, that I really thrive on as far as that word, that term, that organization, that agency. For me, when I think about initiatives, it's what we can create. It's also about the amending. It's about the deletion. And that covers a lot of area. In fact, as a tribal person, we see things in a very circular manner. There's no ending, there's no beginning. It's a constant situation that's taking place. I can also tell you from the words that I've shared before, and I'll continue to share them as long as I can. It's about the mile mark. There's no finish lines. And this organization may be many a finish line, but I would encourage you to set mile markers. Once you reach one and you attain that, you go for the next, and one after that, and one after that. I heard, of course, individuals through the video talk about, again, one of those aspirations, recognition. Again, as I was part of the recognition process for the Piscataway people, Piscataway Indian Nation, Piscataway Pinoy tribe, that they said they didn't need this to validate who they were. This was just to, again, to go along again with the celebration of trueness, reality of who the people are, first of this land, first of Maryland, and they are. I myself, I am Lumbee, and I am Tuscarora. I am a proud citizen of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. I am Tuscarora, also by blood. And so whenever I come before individuals, the proper way that I should greet you with room filled with culture and celebration, to say hello, to say glad that I'm here, glad that you are here. Thank you. Because what's going on here tonight must be seen in a very holistic manner. It cannot be just one area of what you're trying to achieve. It must be holistic. And I know this already. This is what you know as a founder. This is what people know who have come to create this organization. There's a situation that we must look at education. We must look at health. We must look at economic development. We must strengthen our cultural values and never let that be something that is separated from who we are. For us as people of culture, which is everybody in this room, is sure that fulfills us, that heals us and fulfills us. Then we must remember that who we were and who we can be in the future, again, is not dictated by anyone but ourselves. So we must strive, we must work, we must put the effort in, we must not only dream, but we must make the dreams reality. And for us, for the Maryland Commission on Indian Affairs and all the other ethnic commissions that are under the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives, that's what we're there for. A place of resource, a place of information, a place of support. Where if we don't have the answers, then we go to another agency like the Maryland State Archives and we find those answers. Because I have a great relationship with the Maryland State Archives, but we need to strengthen those relationships, not just with the Maryland Commission on Indian Affairs, but with each and every ethnicity, opportunity, or an individual that is in play here in the state of Maryland, and how we can teach the places and the states around us what can be done. This is a state of first. This right here, what is going on tonight, is a first. It is historic. It should be not just first only, it should be a continuous situation. I look forward to being back here, hopefully invited, to be back here next year to celebrate what has been accomplished by this organization in 1 year. I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be grand. And I can tell you right now, with the Governor's Office Community Initiative, as Director of Ethnic Commissions, as Administrative Director, or as a person who cares, we will do what we can within our parameters, I always like to say, of what we can do to help you progress and do and see what you want to achieve here in the state of Maryland. I can tell you that Special Secretary Maria Martinez, who is our newest leadership under the Governor's Office Community Initiatives, that is her intent to assist where we can, to know where those parameters are, but also to be flexible, to be able to see where a route can be made, created, or utilized to get where we need to be. I don't want to take up too much time here. I wasn't given a specific time, but I can tell you that what I say here is what I know. I like being blunt. I like being honest. I like being, that way you don't have to guess, you don't have to wonder, you don't have to ponder. Because I look at my culture, my religion, my spirituality, my physicality, spirituality, my emotion, all of that making me who I am. I know who I am. So therefore, no one again can tell me how I should be. I share that message with you. I share the message of strength and partnership. I also share with you the opportunity to engage at any given point in time. Denizio, you got my personal number, you got my work, you got my email address, you got everything you do. All right, stay in touch with me. This is a start, okay? So use it quite a bit. And that's not a problem. I want you to use it as much as you can. What I like to share with people is that utilize me to the fullest. Just don't use it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to present a citation from the governor. Unfortunately, that was not presented to me as of yet. And one thing I've learned, you don't speak on behalf of the governor unless you get an authorization to do so. You're reading exactly what's in play. So unfortunately, I would not be able to do that here tonight, but I'm sure that that is forthcoming to you, Denizio. And please let me know how I can play a part in the future and make sure that we are all properly prepared to do what we need to do. That being said,
Full disclosure, the citation is at home, but I forgot to bring it.
that's on record, right?
Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Folks, please enjoy, engage, communicate with each other. Please do not let barriers exist. Do not let the divide exist. Probably one of the last things I want to share is this. Diversity is a beautiful thing, as long as it does not divide. As long as it does not divide. With that, Yahweh, thank you.
So, I think that we don't want the food cold. And if you don't mind, we're gonna take a break. And just let everybody, grab some food, because we don't want the food to get cold. And, I know it's home, Corey has 2 hours to drive. I want him to go and stay to 70. And, while we do that, I'm gonna put on a video that tells like a little cinematic history of Taino. And we'll be back shortly. Thank you.
Good. Good. Party, man. See you doing your thing. And I try to show love when I can.
No, you definitely do. Every time,
My
bro.
time and then work and told me. I was like, I'm here.
It's family, man. I remember the video, man, like it was yesterday when we was in the basement. You did that video.
I still got on it too.
You do? I was like, yeah, that joint is classic.
The analog vice media and flipper bus.
Yeah.
Denizio. So
Yeah, that joint was classic, bro.
sir. So I'm kind of now. What I'm doing is I try to take it Exactly.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. You know that.
Yes, indeed.
Everything outside on platters, the plates is outside. Got coquito outside. All of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
may not
So
be
for me, so I'll show you another one.
it worked for me.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so take it away.
Yeah, because there is in the front too. I know we got other papers up there. Might be able to scan those, but
Niggas, I definitely
if it worked for him, it should work for you.
yeah, I see it right now. I'm like, it just
All right.
you know.
But I just. Yeah. Yeah. I like a lot.
Trying to.
and recognize the foundation that allows Taino to flourish. We are only here because of a shared commitment to Indigenous education and cultural preservation. We would like to extend deepest gratitude to those standing with us. I'd like to specifically acknowledge our event sponsor, the Historical Odd Fellows Lodge, Sandy Spring, Maryland, who support directly powered this evening's VIP experience. Our current partners, Charles Coiner Conservancy for Urban Farming, B6 Cups, and Grand Slam Apparel Designs for your ongoing investment in our year-round initiatives. Our community supporters in Germantown, Maryland, Fairfield Inn by Marriott, Home Depot, Mission Barbecue, Starbucks, Giant Food Supermarket, Carabas Italian Restaurant, and Top Golf, the heartbeat of our local advocacy and outreach, and our public service contributors. Finally, a very special thank you to Maryland Governor's Office, Montgomery County, Maryland Council Member's Office, and the Maryland State Archives. Your professional expertise and service are vital in ensuring our ancestors' legacy is protected and our community's future is socially secure. Please join me in a round of applause for these champions of our mission. And now it is my, now we bring that conversation from understanding into action, because this work is not only history, but also about land. It is about community. It is about creating spaces where culture is not just remembered, but actively lived, taught, and sustained. We are proud to build the future through meaningful partnerships right here in our own community. Please join me in welcoming the Executive Director of CKC Farm, our land partner.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Hannah Shoulder. I'm one of the founders of a nonprofit land trust based here in Montgomery County. So like the other presenters tonight, everything for me centers around personal connections and stories. So I'll tell you a little bit about how my nonprofit got started and then why it's relevant for our work here tonight, supporting Indigenous communities, including the Taino, to not only be recognized, but to also thrive. So I don't know, how many of you are from Montgomery County or live in Montgomery County? Okay, great. So when I first moved to Silver Spring about a decade ago, I found it a bit of an odd place. At first glance, I only saw big box retail and streetscapes that didn't feel personal and human scale. So I kept digging and trying to find where's the soul? I finally found literally the underground bar, quarry house established during the time of Prohibition. And then I found the Bangladeshi grocer and the Thai market and places to me that felt like home, tucked into the back alleys. And then I found the farm. So this is one of the hidden gems of Silver Spring, just 2 blocks from downtown. I didn't even know it was a farm. I just loved the beautiful big tree on that property. It's just soaring above the rest of the neighborhood. And I thought to myself, whoever is stewarding this land and making sure this tree survives the pressures of development must be a special person. So then I met Charlie. I met him when he was 96 years old, still working the land all by himself, cracked boots, paring knives sticking out of his back pocket, hobbling around the property, tending to an acre retirement garden. Lifelong Montgomery County farmer. and I was just totally taken. I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to carry on his legacy before it disappeared. So Charlie and his daughter wanted the farm to stay in perpetuity and benefit the community. They didn't know how to do that. So that's where I really stepped in. That's my professional background, is land preservation. So before Charlie passed, we established the Charles Pointer Conservancy for urban farming. We put his land in trust, so it'll always remain with the community forever. And we created a vision for creating a network of neighborhood farms across the county where everyone can reconnect with the land, with the food they eat, and with each other. So now we have 2 farms, 4 gardens, and host hundreds of on-farm events every year. Why is this relevant to tonight? The mission of returning to people for their collective use and benefit is an idea rooted in Native American tradition. Land was never a thing to be mine or yours. Land was supposed to be respected, taken care of, and passed on to the next generation in good working condition. You know, we weren't meant to carve it up, reap personal profit from it, especially at the expense of others. And we weren't meant to erase history through our land use practices. But as all the stories we've heard, this is what happens time and time again. In fact, it's very personal for me as well. This happened to part of my family whose roots are in Galicia. Has anyone ever heard of Galicia? I didn't. I didn't know where it was because it wasn't on a map. It's the Jewish region where Jews were allowed to live, spanning Western Ukraine and Eastern Poland. And the roots were systematically destroyed. History was rewritten, physically erased, in books erased. And again, it's taken me decades to uncover my family's history because no one was allowed to talk about it. We know this isn't right. And we have to start acknowledging what happened on the land that we inhabit now, who once lived there. And we have to make room for their descendants to thrive and flourish today. So we see these ideas taking hold here in Montgomery County. There's the Gasaway sisters over in Potomac. They're working to reach collective land ownership for the benefit of the descendants of enslaved people who worked that land. And the idea is taking hold here tonight as we recognize the existence of the Taino community here in Montgomery County. And in terms of making room, when Denisio learned about the farm and our nonprofit, we decided that Pointer Farm would be the perfect site for the first ever Arawak Taíno Ariéto Yukayú. That's, thank you. Like a gathering of the tribe. This will be the first ever in the state of Maryland. So what better way to honor the original native inhabitants of the land and celebrate their descendants? So as we plan this gathering, we'll be reaching out to you, to the greater Taino community, and to members of other indigenous communities who lived on the land that is now Pointer Farm, including the Piscataway Indian Nation and Kainai tribes. So thank you, Ezio, for your vision and for inviting CKC Farming into the fold. And I'm so happy we have all of you here tonight, keeping this history alive and declaring together that Taino Arawak people are still here and deserve to thrive and be supported. One more thing to share. Gabby Salazar from our farm brought you beautiful plants to take home. Gabby's part Taino, and so she's grown special salsa and frijoles from Puerto Rico, and there's enough for everyone to take, probably 2 or 3.
Wow.
So we really want you to take these home, whether it's on a balcony, in a pot, in a yard, plant it with intention to reconnect with the land, with your tribe, however you decide that is, and with the beautiful plants that nourish us. So thank you.
Oh. Plant smells so good. I don't know if I'm the only one smelling it. Smells so fresh, like. Yeah, when I was over there. No, I said that 5 times, right? Good.
So I want to thank everybody. I do want to acknowledge some people, who are here tonight. From the Maryland County Office of Human Rights, we had Director Jim Stowe. And we have Dr. Body, right?
Yep, you got it.
In the building. He's a very high functioning and respected member of the community, does a lot for the community. He's part of the establishment here of the Oddfellows Lodge that we're in. And he continues to do work for Caribbean and African indigenous people. And so he needs to deserve to be respected and acknowledged. And I want to thank you for your service. I said this earlier, but she wasn't here, so I want to take the time out to acknowledge her again, because she is here now. Althea is in the building. We would not be here tonight if it wasn't for Althea, and I'm going to share this story. This is how God works, right? Because I had booked, I don't want to say the name, I had booked another location. Signed, sealed, delivered, contract approved, everything was dotted right. But when the time I signed on the dotted line, something wasn't feeling right. But everything was approved. I'm like, whatever. But something wasn't feeling right. Less than a month before tonight's event, I kept having this feeling. I said, well, I just can't sit by and not do nothing. Something's not right. Let me call. Let me call and see what's going on. So I called and said, oh no, Mr. LeBoy, you can't do your event here. I was like, oh my God. I had a meeting following day because I had spoken at the Caribbean Advisory Committee monthly meeting that I was invited to, and I spoke and I met Althea, and she said, I want to talk to you. Let's schedule a meeting. I didn't know why, if I'm being honest, right? I didn't know why. I want to talk to you. I say, cool, let's meet. That morning, that was the day after I found out about this whole situation, that me not having the space, and I'm less than a month away. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to get to this other space, because I gotta find space. I gotta book the space. So we're having a meeting, and about 15 minutes in, I was like, Althea, I said, look, we're getting ready to go. I gotta go do this, So I told her what's happening. She says, hold on just a minute. This is how God works. She said, hold on just a minute. And she gets on the phone without saying anything to me while we're on the call. She gets on the phone and she calls Albert Guyon, who's not here tonight, and who's part of his brotherhood, and says, hey, I want you to meet Denisio. This is who he is, this is what he's doing. I know what you guys are about. This is very intentional. This has to happen. And I know that you're helping. Let's make it happen. And within 5 minutes after that, I'm over here and affirming and getting everything in place to have the event here tonight. And that was all because of Althea.
Thank you, man.
Katie from the Black Rock Center, director of the Black Rock Center of Arts. I hope that we're going to do some work together. And I want to make a special shout out to, oh my God, I can't believe this, Liz, my board member, who came all the way from Brooklyn, even tonight. This is what I mean about people who are intentional, right? I wish I could pay her, but I'm not paying her, but this is what I mean, right? Same thing with my sisters, right? All the way from Boston, Massachusetts. And came down here to support this. If you haven't taken a look at some of Lisa's work back there, most of it is Taino inspired. A lot of it is very intentional with regard to mental wellness and spirituality. And so feel free to canvas her space over there and be supportive. And I can't thank you enough. I met T.A.I.N.O several years ago, and she's been by my side ever since. I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like whenever I call her, she's like, "Sure, brother. Sure, brother. Sure, brother. I got you." And so I want to recognize her, and I also want to recognize the United Federation of Taino People under the leadership of Ricardo Guerrero. it's my intention to collaborate and work, and I think we're building that. My purpose, and I've always said this, I've said this to Child Day One. You know, there's a lot of other organizations like mine, like the United Confederation of Taino People, the Guáyiga tribe, and all of that stuff. You know, doing things inclusively. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can remain focused on about our common goal, which is federal tribal recognition, and let that be the thing that brings us together for that. You know, my intention is to try to get all these organizations to come together and unify. You know, so that we can work together collectively for what we deserve. You know, what was taken from us. You know, and you know, like I said, I can't say it any more than I said it from the get-go. This is something that's been with me since I was 10 years old. You know, and it's been part of her entire life. You know, and I remember the first time my son is from Shinnecock. His mom is from Shinnecock Indians of Long Island. And I remember being 15 years old at the time and meeting my son's mother. And she was like, "Oh, I'm Shinnecock. I'm from Shinnecock tribe. I'm Native American." I was like, "Oh, what?" You know, because all I remember was my stories that my parents were telling us about our tribe. They're like, we got a tribe right here in Long Island in New York, and like, yeah, over here. So, you know, 10 years later, you know, I'm at one of the powwows. I started going to powwows every year after year, right? And I'll never forget the first. She says to me, "Those are your people right there." And I cried. I cried because I saw me. I saw me and I saw my people, you know, and I went and I was like, you know, still a young kid. So I was like,
Shinnecock has a thing of doing that because that's what happened to me too with Lance.
yeah.
With Lance Gunn,
Mm-hmm.
going into a powwow, not knowing any other Taino, and then he goes, "Wait, Taino Ray is over there." And that's when I first met Caracolín, Taino Ray, que va descanse, because he passed on now, his ancestor. And I got to meet my very first full-blown little person aside from me.
There you go.
That's powerful what you just said.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, and it's crazy when you've lived your life, as we've been saying tonight, being told that you don't exist. You know, and I want to stop the hypocrisy of that nonsense, right? Kill this lie once and for all. I need you guys to all be a voice, right? Let's be intentional about spreading the knowledge and kill the ignorance of the idea that colonizers had us buy into, continue to have us buy into to this day, where they have us believing and still have many believing that we don't exist. And I'm thinking, so the lost what do you use my word right here? Explorer, the lost explorer, who we all know as Christopher Columbus, who was lost. I want to reemphasize that. He was lost. He came upon the Americas and came across these people because he thought he was in India. So he started calling us Indians. That's where that came from, Indians, right? So he started calling us Indians, Indian. So he was lost. In a place that he never seen, never existed, but somehow or another was able to kill off every one of our people in the land that he knew nothing about. So you were lost, but you knew our land better than we did? You knew your way around our land better than we did, and we've been there since the 1300s? I'll say it again. I think Charlie's mentioned 500-something years. Can I correct you?
Absolutely.
I think it's 611 years.
It's like a million.
So understand that. So this guy's coming over here, and he's for centuries has now gotten people to actually buy this lie into that he killed us off in a place that he was lost. You suddenly knew the land better than we did. You know, the other thing is, okay, even if you want to believe that, didn't you rape our women? Didn't you rape our women? You know, because you did. So if you want to say that, want to sell this lie, kill us all off for a land that you were lost in, didn't know your way around, then okay. If you want to even think there's a speck of truth to that, you still raped our women. So our DNA is very much off. You know, so let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. And, you know, I need you guys, I need allies. We need allies. You know, one of the things that this world, no matter who you are, no matter what your purpose is, no matter what your call is, we don't have enough of is allies. For whatever reason, the world seems to listen more when it's not the people who are being affected that are speaking on your behalf. Right? So I need you all to speak on my behalf. And with that, I want to thank everybody. I want to remind everybody, if you haven't made a donation, $1, $2, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, every little bit helps. We do have the, you can put, I don't know if anybody's done that. Still kind of trying to figure it out because my mind is everywhere. I know they mentioned some idea of how we're going to do this, but we need to get rid of it. Like I said, we have some good gifts over there. We have Carrabba gift cards. We have Home Depot gift cards and discounts. We have a hotel stay. We have a nice huge gift basket from Mission Barbecue, which, by the way, big shout out to them because, you know, I had to let them know, where do you think the word barbecue comes from? Barbacoa. Arawak Taíno.
Yeah.
Right? Arawak Taíno. Right? And another thing that I want to stress to everybody, I say this over and over again, you know, embrace the broad existence of the Arawak Taínos, right? You know, I mentioned our food. You guys had a taste of, you know, the Puerto Rican side, ancestral side of Taino. But recognize that, you know, there's Jamaica, there's Haiti, you know what I mean, and all, and you know, and all the other Caribbean islands, Trinidad, you know. So you know, let's include each other because inclusion makes us bigger and makes us stronger. And I can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. Thank you guys very much. And I think Charlie wants to have a few words.
It's more like a prayer.
Oh yeah.
Let's close this space.
Tanisha, you have a question?
So I just want to know for the Caribbean and Guardian group, have you recognized them as well? Did you recognize them earlier?
You know, I did. Oh yes. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Rosique Vital was here, and you know, Althea's here from the Caribbean advisory group, and Morning Stevenson is here. Yes. They've been very welcoming. I apologize for, you know, you know, blame it to my brain, not my heart. You know, you know, my wife will tell you I've been running for like the last 2 weeks, going crazy. So I just want to thank everybody again, and I want to thank Gabrielle for the plants. You know, like she said, everyone, there's enough for everybody. That is actually Puerto Rican through and through, calabaza and frijoles. You know, so get a plant. Habichuela. Right? And here's Charlie to pray us out.
Thank you so much. Araco el güey, Araco el güey, Hahom tao mau tia, Araco el güey, Araco el güey, Araco el güey, Hahom tao mau tia, Araco el güey, Bui arani, Bui kui, Hahom tao mau tia, Araco el güey. Abuelito sol, abuelito sol, gracias por el día, mi abuelito sol. Tú eres la luz, tú eres medicina, mi abuelito sol. Abuelito sol, abuelito sol, Gracias por el día, mi abuelito soy.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Liz, anything? We're good? I think we're good, and thank you, everybody, again. And, come on, help me out. Not necessary, but thank you so much. And again, donations. Lisa's in the back, the affairs, selling her stuff, and we're here. Make it happen.
We're still here.
Sure.
So, thank you all. I just wanted to share that, in this same space and outside on Saturday will be an, African Liberation Day event. So, yes, and, so Anderson, who made this all possible. Thank you so much, Denisio. Dr. Anderson, who made this all possible, allowed the Unite AACL, Division 3330 from Garveyites and those who are about Pan-Africanism. It's going to be here from 1 to 6 p.m. It's free. There'll be lots of opportunities to eat, see, fellowship, and learn from a lot of different speakers throughout the DMV. So hopefully it's going to be here. I'll be here. But please, I welcome and thank all of you. And also, if you're interested in vending, we have slots for that.
Yep. All right. To my online virtual viewers, donations. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for partaking. I wish you were here to get some of this good food. You missed out. And with that said, everybody here, please we have plenty of food. Take the food. Take it with you. Take 2 or 3 plates. Please.